Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about John Cominsky and Marlon Davidson and the expectation we should have for these guys this year. So guys, before we get into that, if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, like I said, we're going to talk about Marlon Davidson and John Cominsky. So like we've been talking about, it's a new era. The Thomas Dimitrov, Dan Quinn era was over 2 years ago in 2020. 2021 was the first year for Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith. So just looking at this roster, and of course, you know, when new regime comes in, they do a lot of turnover. They bring their guys in, the guys that they feel like going to actually move this franchise forward. Of course, you know, they keep some guys on the team, and just looking at this roster, and we already talked about it. You know, that 2016 Super Bowl team, there's only 3 players left on that team. That's Grady Jarrett, Jake Matthews, and Deion Jones. So, but for the Dan Quinn era, I'm just going to go off the list of just name some of the guys that's still on this team from the Dan Quinn, the Thomas Dimitrov era. And just to show you, it's a new team. So, you know, we try to go on history of what we think this team is going to be and how it's going to be forward. Just remember, it's not a whole lot of guys on the team still from that era. So right now we have, of course, like I said, Jake Matthews, Matt Hennessy, who's probably going to be in the competition with Drew Dalman this year. Of course, we got Kirk Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, who the Falcons didn't pick up his 5th-year option. We got Lamde Zaccheaus, who was actually not drafted. He was an undrafted guy that made the team. Quadra Allison, who was drafted, who's going to be fighting for a running back position. And then Calvin Ridley. And, of course, you know the story of Calvin Ridley. He's suspended. That's the offense. For the defense, of course, we got Grady Jarrett, Marlon Davidson, and John Cominsky, who's going to talk about today. Deion Jones, which, like I said, we still want to see what the Falcons probably going to end up doing with Deion Jones. Michael Walker, the up and rising AJ Terrell, Jalen Hawkins, who I said hopefully going to be able to shine this year. Isaiah Oliver, who the Falcons brought back on a 1-year prove deal after his injury. And then Younghoe Koo, who's been here. He's going to go on his 3rd season this year for Younghoe Koo, who just signed a big contract with this new regime. So, like I said, just so you're just looking at the team as a whole and looking at the transition from one regime to a new regime. Of course, you know, we see that they signed some of their cornerstone guys that they want to move forward, and the Grady Jarrett on defense, and Jake Matthews on offense, and then a Younghoe Koo, who's one of the best kickers in the league in the last couple years. So that's where we're at, and we do have some guys that's still here that need to prove themselves, because if they don't prove themselves, we can see some change. They did not draft these guys. These guys still under contract. We need to see what they'll be able to do. So that's why I want to talk about John Cominsky and Marlon Davidson. So we'll start out with John Cominsky because he's been here a little bit longer than Marlon Davidson. And John Cominsky, he has all the attributes to actually be good. Big guy, come from a smaller school. We knew he was going to be a project for the team because coming from a smaller school. They thought he might have some defensive end potential because of his athleticism moving out. But he has not really hit the stride like the Falcons want him to. So I think it's going to be important for him to actually be able to do something this year. Right now in the depth chart, they got him behind Taquan Graham, who was a rookie drafted last year. So like I said, he's going to have to be able to show some flashes because he's going into his 3rd season. This is probably going to be his. May have one more season with the Falcons, but it's no promise. Actually, this is his fourth season. My bad, but it's no promise is what he's going to. If they're going to actually keep him, he's going to have to show something for the Falcons actually to bring him back next year. See if he's going to be part of this new regime on the defense. And in his 3 years, John Cominsky had one start. He played in 27 games, 41 tackles, 4 tackle for a loss, and 1.5 sacks. So in 3 seasons, that's his number. Like I said, just 41 tackles, played in 27 games, one start, 4 tackles for a loss, and then, like I said, 1.5 sacks. So not a whole lot to show. He wasn't a high draft pick, so but you were hoping he could be that depth piece for this team. And right now, like I said, we're not seeing if he's going to be able to stay with the team after this year. He's definitely going to have some upside and show some flashes this year. Like I said, bringing it, they already got him, Taquan Graham, already listed over him on the depth chart. So John Cominsky is definitely going to have to show some kind of flashes this year. Put him in. Of course, we moved to 3-4, so he's going to have to be on the other end of a Grady Jarrett, maybe. I can't see him playing in the middle, so he'll be, like I said, spelling somebody like a Grady Jarrett or a Taquan Graham, and we have to see what he's going to actually be able to bring to the table this year. So John Cominsky definitely going to have one of those standout years. All right, so let's go to Marlon Davidson. Now, Marlon Davidson, he was one of my favorite players that the Falcons actually drafted. If you go back to some of his interviews, I was so hyped. I was so pumped up for this guy. Even though he was an Auburn Tiger and I'm a Georgia Bulldog, I still like his motor. I thought, of course, they had the big defensive tackle that got drafted by the Panthers on that squad, but actually Marlon Davidson played a lot of defensive end for the Auburn Tigers, and he actually was pretty good at rushing the passer from the outside. Of course, like I said, we went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, so we're going to have to see what kind of position really that Marlon Davidson can play right now, and he's projected starter for the Atlanta Falcons in front of Vincent Taylor and Anthony Rush. So I'm not sure how that's going to fit in that 3-4 scheme, putting him in the middle, but right now, that's where they got him slotted at. But he has the potential to actually be a great pass rusher. I think he definitely can be a good run stopper as well. The issues with Marlon Davidson is he has not been able to stay healthy. So we really don't know what kind of potential he has. His first year was riddled with COVID and his knee injury, could never stay on the field. So Marlon Davidson only been in 2 seasons, been in 19 games. He had one start, 29 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack. And then you guys recall last year the pick 6 that he had on Tom Brady in the Mercedes-Benz Stadiums could have been a trivia question. Who was one of the last players to get a pick 6 on Tom Brady? However, Tom Brady decided to actually come back, so I'm pretty sure somebody else gonna get him. But Marlon Davidson, like I said, he definitely showed flashes. I think his biggest issue is him not being healthy. He's got to stay healthy. He need to play all 17 games this year. He definitely needs to stay on the field. He needs to be able to show that he can, first of all, be productive, and like I said, and getting pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run. But he needs to be able to show that he's going to be available to actually be on the field. He actually had some games last year where he was inactive when he was healthy. So we definitely do not want to see that from Marlon Davidson. We want to see him active every day, every game, so he can show the flashes and show what he'll be able to bring to this table. But being a second round pick, right now, I put him in the same category with a Richie Grant, even though Richie Grant is younger and only played one season. But being a second round pick, you should be able to have a bigger impact to your team because second round picks, they looking at you as could be a starter sooner or later. So Marlon Davidson definitely need to be able to show his potential and that he's able to actually be a bigger contributor to this team, especially this defense. We chronicle the pass rush. We talked about how much we gave up 2,200 yards rushing last year, 18 sacks. So this defensive line is a big issue. We talked about the rookies. We talked about Grady Jarrett. We talked about some of the undrafted guys we brought in. We talked about all these things. But these two guys definitely going to have to play a big part of this defensive line if it's going to be successful. John Cominsky and Marlon Davidson, we cannot forget about them. And I feel if they don't contribute this year, of course, Marlon Davidson had one more year left on his contract. John Cominsky could be out the door. But Marlon Davidson, if he don't flash this year, he could be a cut candidate for next year as well. So, like I said, I really like his game. I really believe that he's has the tools to be successful. One of my favorite quotes that he had, that he just loved to hit people, and you don't get arrested for it. So, like I said, he has that fire. He has that abilities. If you just go back and look at his games that he had, like I said, when he's with the Auburn Tigers, you will see his potential. But for some reason, he can't stay healthy, and he only had small, minor flashes since he been with the Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, let me know what you think about these two guys. Do you think that they're going to actually have some bigger impact to this team this year, or are they just going to slip to the wayside? It could be, and some guys it could be a scheme fit for these guys. Like I said, we went from the 3-4, from the 4-3 to the 3-4. So these guys could not, maybe just don't fit the scheme, like, because they could be more playing on like some defensive ends in the 4-3, vice a defensive tackles, on the ends of a 3-4. We thought that about Grady Jarrett. However, since he's uber talented, I guess those guys feel like they can plug Grady anywhere and make him be successful. We just need to put pieces around Grady. So we're going to see about these guys. I'm not saying that they just going to be bust, but maybe they just don't fit the Atlanta Falcons. But they do have this year to prove that they can bring an impact to this team, to this defense. And before we know it, we're going to really see how many players from the old era is going to be left on this team. So we just have to see. So guys, let me know what you think about these two defensive tackles. Let me know if you think they're going to have a bigger impact than they had than they found on their previous years, and how they can actually help this defense be better in the run and in the pass. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.